you? Happy New Year, or a little bit more. I'm Jason Schwartz, your host here at the Neutral Zone, MauiNeutralZone.com. We are on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui, simulcast on Akaku Maui Community TV. Afterward, you can go up to MauiNeutralZone.com and see this show and all our shows. You can also go to YouTube at Dream Maui #1, and you'll be able to find all our shows also. And you'll see there are going to be other channels. We're going to have other stuff going on up there. I'm sitting in the studio with two beautiful ladies that came to me through a guest that was here just a couple of weeks ago. Sid Alpert said to me, "Have you met Taryn and JESKA?" I said, "No, I haven't met them. What are they doing?" And he said, "Well, you should speak to them because they're worthy of a show in themselves." Taryn Alessandro and JESKA Martodam. What was he talking about? I could tell him, but I bet you can tell him better.
Well, I think Sid was talking about our Meet the Artist program, probably, with the Sheraton Maui Resort and Spa that we have just restarted recently with our third series and our biggest series yet, with 18 different artists.
Wow, 18 artists. The Sheraton Resort and Spas on the west side of Maui. Yes. We are, I guess it's still on the heels of a fire that we had in August of 2023. And Lahaina, although they say, oh, it's building back, it'll be here quickly. If you were an artist and you were out on the west side, you still don't see any buildings to show your art. And so there's no front street to walk down and really a little going on. Is that what kind of generated what you're doing?
Exactly, yes. Shortly after the fires, the director of guest experiences at the Sheraton Maui, Julian Arp Sandell, reached out to me asking if we could create some type of program with the artists that were showing in Lahaina on Front Street, myself being one of them, for them to have a venue to be able to show their work again and get, sort of in front of the tourism sector again.
Is this
a lot of us were left without representation or galleries or even, artwork left. So it was a step in the right direction.
Wow.
And then JESKA has been working with me for 15 years as my right-hand woman. So I had to bring her on also because I don't like to do anything without her.
So 15 or 18 years, or 15 years. So you've been doing something here. What do you do? What was the business about?
I'm an artist, and I've been showing on Front Street, specifically with Sargent's Fine Art for the past 14 or 15 years prior to the fire.
And so Dick Sargent's not going to open up again probably soon.
No, I don't think so.
He's kind of toward a retirement age, right? I know.
Yeah.
I know the dream is definitely still alive, and he's definitely a go-getter, and it's always, those wheels are always turning. So I think when the right opportunity presents itself, there's still a possibility. But, like a lot of businesses, it's difficult to find, good retail spaces. Obviously, there's less inventory of places that are available, which definitely was, kind of something that prompted the whole program. A lot of artists lost their homes, their studios, their gallery, their whole body of work. Some artists didn't even have a place to paint. So we know how important that is. During COVID, Taryn actually did a couple series of workshops where she invited other artists and people from the community, once it was kind of safe to gather. And it was really powerful to see the impact that it had on the community then, of just being able to gather and do something creative together. And so, we took a little bit of that experience and brought it to the table with this new format that we, kind of created, which has evolved tremendously from the first installation that we did, which was about a year ago. And then we did a second one through the spring, and this is actually the third program that we've started. So it's just improved with leaps and bounds every time we do it. And the roster that we have of artists this year signed up are some of the best on the island.
Wow.
And yeah, we're just really excited to have.
You want to drop names for everyone?
Well, Taryn is obviously my favorite artist.
What kind of medium do you work in?
Mixed. Anything I can get my hands on. I use, oil, acrylic, inks, but then integrated with natural materials, sand, palm fibers, marble dust, sculpting, exotic wood, you name it.
And probably you have an online presence of sort?
Yes, my website, TarynAlessandro.com.
Okay. And for the whole program, do you have a website or not specifically?
We are listed on the Sheraton Maui's calendar of events. You can find out through their website which artists we have on what days exhibiting. So we're running Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Right now we're scheduled through the end of April. And there are 2 different artists on each day. So 18 artists total, or I guess 17 now, yeah. And we do a rotation through those artists. So trying to give everybody a chance to, get in the lobby and show their work and what they've been working on. We tried to do this program a bit different than some of the other hotel programs. For example, like we started right after the fire, so a lot of these artists didn't have equipment and things like that. So we're supplying easels and display tables and the things that they might need.
And they do live painting and whatever they're doing.
Some
right
do,
there.
and some are there just to engage with the guests and show their work. It's up to them if they want to paint live or not.
Are there guests? The hotels are pretty active still?
They're getting there. They're, I think, about 60-70% capacity right now. That
right? Means all you out there who haven't come yet, come on over. We want you to come to
need you.
Maui. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a unique offering as well for that location because, as you mentioned, there's Front Street doesn't exist anymore, so there's a lot of visitors that are in Kaanapali kind of wondering, what's going on and what do we do to entertain ourselves? So this is kind of a unique thing, I think, that can engage, locals and different visitors alike who a lot of them are looking for these artists, people who used to come every year. And, it's nice to be able to have a place to host them so that they can invite their collectors to come and see the program and view different artists as well.
So do you have a physical space in the hotel is that what it's like a room that you use?
We're right in the main lobby.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. It's a beautiful view. It's right where everybody comes down for sunset to watch the cliff diving ceremony at Black Rock. And
you guys should come out and see all this stuff.
Yeah, they're one of the only hotels in Kaanapali that has a bar in the lobby. So that's really great that the sandbar is right there and you have this beautiful view, plenty of comfortable seats there as well. And you could have a chat with an amazing artist from Maui.
You want to throw some names so the people that are not here can appreciate who's coming and what's going on? Because, I can appreciate that maybe this may not get to everywhere, but wherever it goes, we want them to know that they can contact you guys no matter whether they are here on Maui or wherever, to be able to get to some of these artists that they may remember, and new ones also. Give me some names.
Yeah, we've got Rascal from Heart Fine Art Gallery on Front Street there, Clover.
She does really beautiful mixed media silk panels and pieces.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really unique, really diverse collection. Baz Cumberbatch is also another local artist that's pretty well known. And he does really unique work with different palm fibers and different banana leaf bark papers, really organic, unique collage type work. We have Sibet Asplund and... Sorry, will you correct me, please? My apologies.
That's right.
Rebecca Kranichfeld from Puyo Gallery.
So
Brenton,
you got them
Deardorff.
from the other galleries mostly?
Well,
we did a call to artists and
We
just
did.
kind of invited it to anybody who
Yeah.
has been affected, because it wasn't just the artists in Lahaina. We've discovered everybody on the island has been affected since the fire and had to transition.
Yeah.
So
we started it as mostly like Lahaina artists or French Street artists, but quickly realized, it's all the artists on the island that have been affected. So we opened it up to the entire island. A lot of like my other gallery, Puyo, had closed shortly after. So Rebecca was from that gallery.
Right.
Owner.
So I imagine that with the success that you're having, you're going to want to do another one, right? So artists should be contacting you if they want to be part of what you're doing.
Yes.
absolutely, yeah. This program will run, like she said, we do it 3 days a week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. And this program will run to the end of April. So we'll be developing programs continuing on beyond that. So yes, if there are artists out there that are interested, give us a call, send us an email.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it. You may not have ever heard of it because it came and went so quickly, but way back in the 90s, when I started the Maui Arts and Music Association, I realized that the only thing there were the galleries on Front Street, and a lot of artists didn't get really represented. And so I started on my website, The Gallery Without Walls, and nobody thought you could sell art over the internet at that point, and everything was really couldn't have signatures online. Now every signature is online, and things have really shifted. And I had this Gallery Without Walls, and I never had anyone even respond. I needed a marketing team. But you know who responded and audited me twice? The IRS. They liked my idea.
They always come after the artists.
Wow.
And then someone said to me, well, you sort of did what Jeff Bezos did. Well, he had a little bit more going on than me, but the internet is a really powerful selling tool. And when you have no space, I'm really glad that the hotel at least opened itself to you guys to be able to offer local artists. I'm seeing that so many artists here don't have a way to show themselves really now. Mm-hmm. So that's great.
Yeah.
So what about art? You probably knew her and said, hey, let me get involved. How did you guys get together? You've been an artist a long time, I imagine. Huh?
We have the best story of meeting, falling in love. When I had first moved here, I didn't have anything, really. And I kind of started just making tiny little suitcase paintings with whatever materials I could get my hands on. I used to go to the Salvation Army. They would hold supplies for me and call me when I came in so I could come get some stuff to work with. So I was making these little tiny paintings, and I was getting around by bicycle back then, so I put some in my bike basket, and I rode my bike over to Maui Hands Gallery, where Jess was the director at the time, and I asked her if she'd show my paintings, and she said yes.
That'll show you.
Said yes, and can you make 10 more?
Well, and also she told me that they had to be framed, and I was like, oh no, I can't afford frames. So I went and bought a Tonka saw, a little kid's thing, and started building my own frames, brought them back, and then they sold them in a week or something, all of them, and kept asking me for more. And from there, I got picked up by other galleries and started my journey. I was coming from New York City, so always trying to be artists in New York, and then my dream kind of came true here. So
Well, I'm a refugee from New York also.
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, well, you know, New York is, you know, you got to get through the door and then figure out what's going on. With very crowded. You know, I really still think New York is a great place, but it's a bit overwhelming. Were you from New York before?
From Connecticut, but I was living in the city.
Right.
Yeah, working at a gallery over there. I could barely find enough time to paint because I was working so much, you know.
To afford rent in New York City.
Yes, yeah. Ooh. And I was 22, 23, you know.
I thought that's where you are now. No. Wow.
40 is dangerously close now.
Well, you know, I can tell you 40 sounds super young. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's great. So that's how you met and friendship developed. Was the Maui Hands the one over here in Kaamana Center at the time? Was that?
No, this was the store on the gallery that was on Front Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right across from the Camp Third School, the elementary school, and kind of like just past the banyan tree near Prison Street. It was kind of a closer crossroad.
Several locations on the island. But I thought from there, she was just like the best saleswoman, and I loved her so much. And from there, I would have her come help me with like private shows and events and be my consultant. And then she sort of became my account manager and then business partner, and we've been working together now for 15 years.
That's really terrific.
Yeah. That's really incredible. I mean, looking back on it, you know, from where we started and when we first met to where we are now, and just all of the really cool, crazy, fun, unique things that we've been able to do together. It's really been one of the best experiences of my life, and it's definitely opened up a huge host of opportunities, not just for us to work together and support each other, but, you know, branching out into the community as well. It's just really, really rewarding. So it's been a great partnership. And
she even became a director at Sargent's at the most recent gallery.
I worked at Sargent's for a number of years.
So you remember Kurt Lee?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And Louise Lambert.
Oh, yeah.
The best, yeah.
So wonderful. We love them.
Yeah. Kurt, may you rest in peace.
Kurt. Yeah.
And Louise, I sing with Louise, too.
Oh, wonderful.
She's amazing.
She's great, yeah.
I never saw it. I only thought she had 2 hands. I think she's got 4 hands. She's really fun, I know.
Yeah.
Wow, and I always used to love going over. You know, I used to live in Lahaina way back. In 1988, when I came here, I moved into this place, and I said, oh, the guy that just moved out, there was Chris Lassen. So way back when Chris Lassen was just starting. In fact, we used one of his pieces in the middle of our logo way back then.
Oh, wow.
The concept of above and below. With, you know, he was doing both above and below, like Weiland kept shifting with different people. You gotta remember. Mm-hmm. Any of those? Do you ever hear
Robert
from any
Nelson.
of those people about them re-emerging? I don't know what the timeline is for Front Street to even start to be redeveloped. So it sounds like your moving art show could well be the pace setter here for a while.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's hard to predict, you know, what's going to happen on Front Street. I know that they recently had released the plan because they want to move Front Street back. We need to for obvious reasons. So I didn't read the whole statement. It was quite a bit, but I'm very curious to see how all of that will get managed.
I keep wondering how they're going to create the feeling of a Front Street, which was overcrowded, packed together, and we all loved it, right? It was the way it used to be when things were intimate and close, and then the world grew up and they have new codes, and you have to have everything totally different now. So it's going to be an interesting re-emergence. Plus, who owns the property? You got to buy all that property if you're pushing back.
I think at the end of the day, what we do know is it's going to be a while, and we need something, going in the interim.
Absolutely, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys are going to be, I think, the main shtick.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to.
We're hoping
keep
it
the
also
glue.
opens into other opportunities, and it very well could. It's out there, so we want to have a successful series and showcase, and then turn it into a permanent showcase, and then hopefully have some space to keep things up more permanently instead of it being a breakdown situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Eventually,
maybe,
so.
I don't know if the Sheraton likes this, but I hope you'll be in numbers of resort properties because there are quite a few artists and they all need help.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I am just amazed. I don't really know. I have a couple of friends that are artists. You know Davo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, geez, stop cold. I mean, when you lose all your stuff, I
Yeah.
still have a couple of
It's
things.
hard.
But
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know it gets really crazy. Did you live on the west side, you guys, or no?
I do. Yeah, I live on the west side.
You do now?
Yeah, I've lived in Lahaina Luna specifically for 18 years. So I'm in the neighborhood at the very top by the Princess School.
So you didn't get
Yeah,
touched.
Our house is still there. Our neighborhood is there.
Wow.
At this point
She
in
did have to
time,
leave though for a while.
yeah, we were displaced for several months. And
Well, you had to be because of the quality of the air and all that
yeah, and
toxic
to clean
dirt
everything.
and everything. It's still toxic. You guys know, how can we miss that in Los Angeles, which has just is being decimated by fire, the toxic ash and the stuff going on in the ground. What we learned around here is that stuff is toxic, and everyone can say it's not until they're blue, but we know better, and science speaks behind that. So I don't know what they're going to do in Los Angeles. You can't really move. It's going to take an incredible amount of time to clean that place up and rebuild. It's almost like, let's create Pacific Palisades somewhere else again. You know, I mean, I'm fooling, but it's really a long haul back. So I'm really glad there are things like you're doing to help people, because, man, is it needed. It is super needed. Out there, if you have any questions, you're welcome to call at 808-873-3435. We rarely get calls in. But I like to mention, because we're a call-in, call-out talk show. Sometimes I'm here and we're talking about an issue, and we pick up the phone and call the people live from the air. You can well imagine that creates a
buzz.
an interesting response on the other end. You're on the air now,
Huh?
calling me? Yeah. We thought that, you should have a chance to talk about what you feel about this subject.
Get some prank calls in.
But I'm hoping that what happens over time is that people will contact you. All the information we're going to put up on screen to be able to contact you guys, so that we can see your program blossom and really help a lot of people. What were you doing before you were in the art business? So you've been there since you're a small young lady, right?
Yeah, I've actually studied art pretty much my whole life. When I was younger, I was very interested in theater and music. So I did a lot of that, and that sort of opened the door into visual arts. I grew up in Arizona, and I went to a really unique charter school, which was kind of a new concept at the time. But it was focused on academics and the arts as well. So we had artists that were working, living, creating in the community that would also be our teachers. So it was a really unique opportunity, and really sort of opened the door, in my mind anyway, of the possibility of, seeing other adults living that life, or it was just really inspiring to know that there's so many possibilities. So
That's great.
Yeah, so that was great. I ended up studying fine art in Flagstaff. I moved from Phoenix to Flagstaff and got my degree in ceramics there.
Wow.
And I loved living there. It was a beautiful place. lots of aloha with the people there too, like very much that community.
What got
feeling.
you to Maui?
Living in Arizona was a really great place to travel to Central and South America, especially as a young person, as, you know, college student and an art student on a shoestring budget. That's pretty much what I would save all my money for, is to travel. So I would go to these other countries and was really inspired by different cultures and art and the history of the areas, and also the tropical beauty was always sort of calling my name. So when I first came here to Maui, I came to visit one of my best friends, Devin Mastrich, who is a very talented metalsmith. She makes some really beautiful jewelry. And I came to visit her, and then just kind of kept coming back to Maui, and eventually it made more sense to stay, especially after experiencing Front Street for the first time, having no idea that we're in the art capital of the Pacific. So that was really inspiring, and I felt like, you know, there's something here for me that's really unique. So I've been really blessed that everything sort of fell into place for me, and have continued to be blessed being here. So.
And then you found an artist.
And then, this
partner.
Dream relationship sort of blossomed out of, you know, two young people that just wanted to be a part of the art community. And when I saw Taryn's work, it was so different than anything else that I had in my gallery, anything that I had seen on Front Street. And it was very cutting edge. It was very fresh and diverse, and also refined, you know, for as many different things as her, you know, coming to bring a painting with like bottle caps in it, and sand, painting with sand, and then, you know, all these beautiful textures and reflections from gold leaf and silver leaf. It just really draws the viewer in. And so I think most of her collectors have that experience. And it's really easy to fall in love with the work. And then you meet her, and, like, the plot thickens, because it's so easy to adore her, and she's such a great personality that people, you know, I think they really thrive on that. Yeah, it's personal, you know. All your collectors have relationships with you, and it's really, it's fun to kind of be a small part of that, you know.
Wow.
But
that's exciting to hear. And you came here because you heard about Maui's art scene? You knew about Maui?
Actually, I had no idea. I had no idea that Front Street was like the next biggest art market after New York City, largely because art's tax-free here, right? So people come from all over the world to purchase art, and there's so many big names, and we're in the middle. We're in the middle of all these other countries, so it's a world market.
It is.
Yeah.
Does it still have any kind of presence? I mean, I don't know what they're doing to keep that name alive. Have you heard much? I haven't.
To keep the
idea that it's an art market, and that there's still artists here, and then all that stuff.
I mean, we're trying.
Oh,
I've also been working with. I'm on the board of directors with Art Maui, and so we've been working on different programs through them as well. We did the Maui Artist Haven to raise funds for the artists and supplies, and now this Meet the Artist program. So we're working on showing everybody, like, we're still here, we're ready for business, you know.
The Visitors Bureau, any of those kind of places helping? I always wonder.
They're starting to, actually.
There's definitely interest.
There are some, I guess I can't really mention them now, but because they're in the works. But there are some programs in the works to work with the state on a larger level, and tapping into those resources for the artists.
To get the word out
kind of
with
noticing,
megaphone, right?
You know, we kind of fell through the cracks in all of it. It's like artists that, you know, maybe lost their entire bodies of work but didn't lose their home or that kind of property. Like, maybe they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars of their personal property, but it wasn't a home or a person. You know, they weren't really like covered under insurance and FEMA and all of that. So it was a group that there are a lot of that kind of fell through the cracks on getting help. So we're trying to fill that. We've been trying to fill that gap as much as we can.
I was just wondering, because it's so important for the island to keep up its reputation, to be able. I mean, well, you can bring back Lahaina, but if you don't keep people realizing there's something going on here, right?
Yeah, and so many people are like, where do we go now? You can't just go down Front Street and shop thousands of artists. Where do they go now to buy art? So there's, some different areas. Wailuku has been kind of becoming an artist...
New artist
stage,
haven.
Yes. They named it an arts district, and there's some places. There's Wailea and Paia, and some places to go still, but
if it's not quite the same as walking down Art Row.
It's not the same. Yeah.
I know.
So we don't know.
It's starting. I feel like Wailuku is definitely blossoming, and we know a lot of people who relocated from Lahaina to Wailuku. And it's, Taryn has her studio there too on Main Street, which is really great. So it's a wonderful location. They also do the First Friday events, which is kind of a fun community centered thing. But I think a lot of us have kind of predicted that, hope that Wailuku will blossom more into this more magnetic.
That's what Wailuku hopes for, I think.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping for that, and it's refreshing for a lot of artists to see that starting to happen and develop.
And for you that don't remember Wailuku from recent, we now have a parking structure there,
yes,
so you can actually park. I mean, that's
2 hours free.
Oh, that's right, 2 hours
with your
free.
ID, yes.
Yeah. So you should be coming to Wailuku also.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from
4 to 8.
4 to 8. Okay. At the Sheraton. I want to put that up a couple of times to make sure you guys remember what's up.
Yeah.
We are sitting here at KAKU 88.5 FM with Taryn and Jessica talking about Meet the Artist, which is at the Sheraton Resort and Spa in West Maui. So I just want everyone to know that. You can find this show, remember, at MauiNeutralZone.com. You can find it up there on YouTube, Dream Maui #1, and you'll see the shows there. What has been the most exciting part of this for you guys? I mean, obviously making money is part of it, but you probably have people that are so thankful, that artists that are so thankful to have you helping them now.
I would say that definitely the most exciting part is seeing some of these artists make sales and just start, shining again. Like we had one artist make his first sale since the fire because it hadn't been out there, and it just created this new body of work, and it was like the most heartwarming. Just was so excited and celebratory, and just nice to be back in front of the public again. So yeah, that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
It's great to see that kind of, it's really rewarding.
Sort of restore hope, as much as you
Hope's
can.
a good thing.
Yeah, just how excited he was, and all the artists that, have made sales, just to have that, it is in a way a little bit of an ego bump, but it's also a lot of reassurance, because for a lot of people there's been a lot of time before or since they've been in front of the public or had to sell their work, or maybe some artists never even really did that before. So this is the first time that they're kind of presenting their work. Maybe they just had gallery representation. So the consultants are, would typically be the ones doing the selling in that scenario. So it's kind of cool to help artists as well, kind of develop those unique skills, those different skill sets to help them sort of spread their wings. And it is really validating when somebody walks up and says, this piece is incredible. I love it. I have to have it. It's a great
so
feeling.
glad to hear that there are people around that are still buying art. I didn't, really even think about it for a while. It wasn't on anyone's mind. But I'm glad that people are still acquiring art and collecting art. That's great.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. A lot of people collecting art. They need it. You know, we need art.
Fills our soul.
Yeah.
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 Well, I am sitting here and I'm just thinking, I'm wondering what things about you guys do you want to share? Anything special that you want to say that you want to make sure I don't... Oh, I forgot to mention that. Anything that's really... You've been doing art, and I'm just trying to kind of fill out a space to get to know you guys a little bit more, And your artists, you didn't mention too many artists, but...
Yeah, we can mention more.
Yeah,
we could
probably. It's really great to have a list and put the list up.
I was going to say,
along with this information.
If you'll send to me all the artists' name, I'll put it in the copy and under the thing on YouTube and on the show and stuff.
That'd be great, yeah, because there are a lot of incredible artists that are, like we said, super diverse. Like Jim Knoeppel is a really incredible artist. And
Octopus Ink Tattoo.
Yeah, and Malaya. And
Lahaina, we got Tina Puck, who's really been coming up as a great artist who's now at Viewpoints, along with Christine Waara, Tara Bouchard.
Tara's from Lahaina, born and raised.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah.
Susie Lewis.
Susan Lewis. Yeah, Susan
Margaret
Lewis.
Elliott.
Good.
Keep going.
I really hope you guys may know some of these names, and if not, we're going to find a way so you can get to know who they are. But most important, get to know these two ladies, because they're the ones that are really generating these things. And as artists and as collectors, these are two ladies you should be getting to know. Maybe they'll get you a good deal, I think.
Definitely help out our local people. We definitely, absolutely.
Do you, I keep going back, and my mind just keeps going back to the fact that Lahaina is not going to have, it's going to take so long to develop the culture and things. You may be that gap and bridge that helps a lot of them be seen. And I'm really loving that. Yeah. And our Gallery Without Walls is going to come back up again, So I'm hoping you guys will work with me and keep bringing artists into what we're doing,
Heck yeah.
And I was mentioning to them before that I'm waiting for my real estate license to get active, because I'm going to take real estate commissions and pour them back into the art world and doing shows and things. So maybe we'll be doing stuff together. That would be great.
That's
great.
Yeah.
Actually, real estate and art marketing go really well together. I've done some work with that before, just, staging some of these nice homes with the art, and it helps buyers envision the home with artwork in it, and a lot of times they end up falling in love with the artwork mostly and then keeping it,
Yeah.
So it's actually, I don't know if that's what you were getting at, but probably not. But
but that's actually the other piece that will be helpful, to be able to put your art in different houses that are being staged.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I was thinking was, I know that to put on shows, a lot of the people that put them on have profit as their motive, which I appreciate. But my motive isn't profit. My motive is taking monies and pouring them back in to redevelop the art and music and culture of our islands to be seen by the world, which
it's amazing.
To me, we have to keep bringing people here, and in my mind, we don't want to cut them off. That thought about don't come back or please don't visit, somehow that got etched in stone for a lot of people. So it's taken a little while to see people coming back here again. Mm-hmm. But I think that Maui, especially with girls like you with putting art out there again like this is going to really be a good thing if we can promote it to the people, well, you guys out there that aren't here on Maui, that will suddenly say, hey, let's go back to Maui. Let's see what's going on Maui, because we really need it, you know. I am, like I said, it just so happens we're in a week with another fire. Fire is a tough thing to come back to and from. So what you're doing is especially valuable here, especially valuable. I hope you're appreciated for all that you're doing by more than just the art community, but by all the people on Maui. And they can come down to the Sheraton also, right?
Yeah, in fact, they invite you to come down. You can grab drinks, poo-poos, enjoy the sunset in a rocking chair, and meet the artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on down.
Kind of a fun date night.
Enjoy.
Idea, something different to do.
Yeah, have a little resort night.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in hotels in a long time. Be walking. It's really fun. I used to, but after I'm here all these years, I don't go to the hotels that much. But it's a great thing. I really think it's important to attract local people to these resorts too.
Yeah, you know, we're nearby. We can just go on down to 5-star experience whenever we want. But you know, we don't always remember to do that. But being there, man, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, and it feels like a breath of fresh air sometimes, and just like an escape from everyday life. Yeah.
Well, I'm just trying to think of where we might go. We have like 15 minutes left, which is a lot to some and a little to some when you're sitting here with nothing to say. But we have a lot to say.
I guess one thing I would maybe add that you've kind of touched on a couple times is that, you know, we are really open to collaboration, and we have a lot of ideas that are kind of brainstorming and brewing for the future as well about programs and things that we can do to kind of help the community, different outreach programs. So, you know, if there are people out there that have access to spaces or funding, or you know, if there are people out there and they're having these little ideas, we'd love to talk. Give us a call. So, you know, just wanted to kind of throw that out there and encourage anyone that might also have light bulbs going off.
And I know a lot of our artists are also participating in the Maui Open Studios coming up. Like I know Pamela Neswald and Clover.
Is Calen doing it?
Calen Adams. I'm not sure if he's doing it.
Tell people a little about
check
this
out
open.
Maui Open Studios also. Yeah.
Is that a location somewhere?
This is an opportunity for the public to engage with the artists at their home studios or their, you know, studios, but they have a showcase. And basically it's every weekend in February is a different area of the island where artists sign up to showcase their work. So you can go and interact with them in their homes, their studios, or galleries on a very personal basis and see their collections. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly of the schedule, but you can check it out on Open Studio, Maui Open Studio.
But I know they'll have the schedule when you go down to the Sheraton. I bet they'll have it with them.
The showcasing artists will know, yes.
Yes.
When
I really want to see everyone coming out to your show now, because I know that all those artists that are there want to see people, and whoever is traveling in, if you're at another hotel or anywhere, you can come to the Sheraton Resort and Spa and see these artists and these two nice ladies. But when Sid mentioned you, I was thinking to myself, now Sid was a manager, I guess, at Heart Gallery, right?
Yeah, and so he represents a couple of our artists in the program. So that's how, well, we know Sid from French Street also, but that's sort of how our current involvement is.
Well, he was just really high on what you guys are doing for people, which is really, really, was a great testimony from someone like him. He's a move around a shaker.
Yeah, it's character.
He's,
That was fun to watch. Your guys' interview.
Yeah.
he's that's the kind of thing when I think about what this show is. Hopefully it's just a friendly, easy space to sit and talk about whatever you want to talk about. And he was all over the map.
He's got some stories, some good stories.
Well, your stories are good too. I like your stories. You met her because she saw value in what you were doing, and then you became friends. That's a great thing. And and to me, 15 years is a long time. Yeah. But it's...
I don't know if I've done anything that long.
No. Now she's getting married in a couple months. And
oh, congratulations.
Bridesmaid in a wedding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's another one of our projects right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're super excited.
Well, when you talked about the house staging stuff, I'm going to mention to the people there that you guys are someone they should be speaking with to be able to get some of your artists represented out there.
Well, yeah, it helps everybody, right? It helps the realtors sell the homes. It helps the buyer envision the space. It helps the artists.
Yeah.
Helps the sellers. So.
And you have so many artists that you're representing. You can give them, a whole range of things,
the whole gamut.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got something for everybody, really.
I mean, some of the places I walk in and you probably know, they're Peggy Hopper.
Yeah.
She was out there, and you see her
She's
thing,
out
and
there.
every place looks the same with the same art. Or years ago there were a few of them, but now we're having a lot of artists under your, I want to say, in your purview, really helps diversify the art out there and really get them represented. That's great.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do after this? Or you're going to just do this for the rest of your life? You're going to get married. So, does your husband work in the art business? No.
No, but he is
by default.
Super, yeah.
He carries the pieces.
He's our art slave. Yeah. Your husband too is definitely super supportive. The guy,
they end up.
We're the brains. They're the brawn.
They end up involved, whether they thought they would be or not. Very involved, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a family affair, sure, and definitely
we
a
have
labor
big
of
ideas.
love. Yeah.
We need help.
Yeah, when I always was walking into galleries, sometimes, is there a technique? I bet there's, you let people look until you see some kind of signal.
Everybody's got their own
little technique.
Jessica's great, though. She's more approachable.
I'm not a real high pressure kind of person. I just sort of you feel them out, when they come in. Some people don't want to talk to anybody, so I just say hi, let them look, and then I'll get real busy in the area that they're admiring, and I'll just drop little tidbits of info like, oh, that one's made by somebody who lives down the street, or this one's really unique because of that. And eventually you just, like I was selling jewelry at the time, and eventually I just put it on and, make people feel beautiful. And everybody walking in there is pretty happy already because they're on Maui. So it was really kind of a fun, great job to also... I think one of the most rewarding things for me in sales is that just encouraging people to treat themselves, A lot of times we can easily, make a purchase for somebody else, like our family or loved one, but we have more reservations when it comes to ourself. And I feel like unique handmade pieces like jewelry or art, especially, those are some of the most unique purchases that people can make because it's an emotional exchange. It's a relationship, really that you build with the client. So. And
I like the fact that you actually get collectors, people that like your stuff and want to come again.
Yeah.
That's really.
Nice. Art, it really is the most emotional purchase you can make, right? You have to connect with it in some way. And it could, like, you know, take you back to a place or remind you of something or just make you feel a certain way when you look at it. But you know when somebody looks at a piece and they've fallen for it, right? And so it's just kind of helping them make the leap. They never regret it. You never regret buying a piece of art you love, you know? You live with it every day, and it makes you feel that way over and over again. So.
And another thing about art, you buy it because you love it. You don't buy it
to match the couch.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I had an old friend named Alon Vital. Remember him?
Yeah, we know him.
He's in Ohio now.
Oh, okay.
In Old Liverpool, New Liverpool, Ohio, doing art and opening up multiple artist things, same like you guys doing, but he's in a place where the town has emptied out because we sent all the jobs overseas. Now we're going to see what happens now with our new presidente, what's going to happen and how it's going to affect everything. But I know that maybe we can bring him here, have him buy some art for his hotel.
Here we go.
Well, he can't do it as president. We'll have to get all his kids over here. God. I don't know if we want him here because we got to shut it down all the roads and everything because we have a president. You ever see when a president comes? He's there and he's got so many Secret Service and other people. They reshift all the traffic in the world. We don't have that many roads, so yeah. You can stay in Washington, Don. Yeah. Can I call you Don?
You can buy online.
That's right. We'll take your credit card.
Send a guy.
And we'll just send you a sampling. Well, I'm glad that you came here to visit me.
Yeah, thanks
and
for
maybe
having
we're
me.
Stretching it a little. I know we're stretching an hour. An hour. But, you know, I have an hour show, and I'd rather not cut you off. I'd rather just sit here and relax and spend the time. When you got into art, what inspired you to get into art?
I'm one of those weird, lucky individuals who always knew that that's what I got to do since I was, like, very young. It's all I wanted to do.
Wow.
And it's funny because I was pretty good in school growing up. So, you know, my dad, like, you know, wanted me to go pre-med and all of that. And I ended up going to Boston University and getting my painting degree there. But I always had, like, a backup plan. You know, I had, like, a double major with advertising or marketing and art history and all the other things just in case. But it's all I ever wanted to do was paint. So I was like, well, I guess I used to say, I don't know if I can say this on. They always say you can't make it as an artist, right? Like, or it's too risky or this. And I always used to say, "F you, watch me," and that was like my motto. And I was gonna stop at nothing. And so
it's working out.
Here really. I am. It's what I do, and it's who I am. And yeah, I can't imagine doing anything else. So.
Well, that's what they say about life, isn't it? Some people do it just to work, and some people are living their dream.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear.
Yeah.
Taryn's also probably one of the most hardest working people in general that I've ever met, but she is so dedicated to her art and her craft. I think that is really what has also been a defining part of what has got you to this point where, you know, you have this beautiful studio in Wailuku that's also, you know, it looks like a gallery when you walk in there. It's just gorgeous. And, you know, to be able to kind of create these other programs as well. I think it's because she's so dedicated and disciplined. And also another key factor that I know I'm not the only one who's witnessed this, but how she has taken many artists kind of under her wing and sort of helped them and guided them and given them professional advice and critique on art and taught them new techniques. she's always really been committed to sharing, you know, what most artists would maybe keep secret to protect their success. And she just wants everybody to learn and grow, because that's how you learn and grow. And
remember that old expression, a rising tide raises all ships.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a really good thing. And that's what you're doing with what you're doing there in the Sheraton. Your whole attitude is really very, very attractive, and very attractive to people that hear about this. So I hope that right now, at least through April, maybe more, meet the artist at the Sheraton Maui Resort and Spa, Taryn Alessandro and JESKA MARTODAM. I'm going to, because you guys are on radio, I'm going to read it if it says info.talessandro.fineart@gmail.com. info.talessandro, ALLESSANDRO, FINEART sometimes we forget that we're on radio.
Right.
And
Yes,
so you
you
gotta
need the infos.
gotta give them the info.
Email
live.
us.
Well, we are. Is that right? I'm just looking. Looks like we have 30 seconds. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, wow.
Well, thank you, ladies, for
Thank
joining
you.
me
Thank
here. I hope
you.
it wasn't
It's a
uncomfortable.
pleasure.
enough,
Been,
Such a
amazing.
pleasure.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
And
having us.
I want you to share this with everyone that you want to. It's been a pleasure having you here. I hope you'll come again and report back in with anything you're doing.
Will do.
We are gone. Thank you all for joining us today. We'll see you again. Blessings, everyone. Aloha.